Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to Calling All Humans with Sonia Marie. The topic for today's video is, are you one of these? Now, for those of you who can't figure this out, it's a sheep. And this is one of my beautiful little Kala, the Schnauzer. It's one of his little toys. So I was going to dress up with a sheep, but I didn't have the stuff to dress up. So, are you one of these? Let me get into it further. If you see me looking off to the side, I'm just reading my notes to keep me going. So, the question I have for you is, are you a sheep? Now, what I have learned through my years here, through my search internally and looking at what I have to look at and looking at the world in a whole new way, I know that when I have a question about something or something comes up that I want the answer of, if I don't personally know the answer, I'm going to do my best to figure it out for myself. And if I can't figure it out, then I'm going to look at the people in my life and see if there's anybody there who can help me with the issue I have. I'll use the example of if I'm not feeling well. I am lucky enough to have two people in my life who I can rely on for answering any medical questions. I can go online and look, but as you all know, if you're looking up something that you really don't know, and there's so much misinformation out there, that pick and choose and really research the subject. And if you don't know it, ask the people who do. So I do this throughout my life now. I had a medical issue the other evening, and thankfully I have my wonderful doctor who I couldn't reach, but I also have a friend who is a retired doctor, so I reached out to him. He helps me tremendously, and I just want to say thank you to Dr. Kumar for that. Very much appreciate it. So I guess what I'm learning to do and trying to express this to you is I make my own decisions in regards to everything. I will take if I need to go to a specialist or like say the doctor, since I don't know anything in medical, I'm going to refer to them and take their word for it, because again, they've dedicated their lives to this, and they've gone through so much schooling and so much practice that how could I not go to one of them for that? I am very proud to say that I am not, sorry to go out of the field, I am not one of these. No, at all. I like to think for myself. If I come up against something that I really don't know the answer to, I'll try and flip it around now and see if I can see things in a different way. A good referral, I always like to give something out there so you can refer to. Anybody who is in my age bracket grew up watching Bugs Bunny. And you already know what I'm going to say. There's a cartoon where the coyote is trying to get to the sheep in the field. There's a sheepdog guarding out, and the coyote dresses up as a sheep, blends in, and tries his best to grab those sheep and take them home and have quite a dinner with them. But he never seems to get it, because the dog that's on guard is always far smarter than he is. So when I'm sending out the message today, if you're just listening to whoever because they say it, and again, I'm going to bring up the human that's in charge down in United States. If you're just listening to because that's just what's always been done in your part of the world and your thoughts and everything, you can see that our world right now is in a real big change, and we have to change with it. And if we do not change the way that we look at things and the way that we look at each other, you're not growing as a human being. Just because we were taught something 25, 34, whatever, how many years ago, it could have been correct at that time, but we don't live in that time anymore, and you kind of have to go through yourself and see if you have any maybe bigoted thoughts about whatever. If you're a racist, everybody's a racist to some point. I used to say I'm not, but unfortunately there are some things that were installed in me, and I'm aware of it, and I try to really watch myself and correct myself. So don't be a sheep. You're a smart, intelligent human. You can think for yourself. You can do research. Don't fall for the rhetoric. That is, nope, that's my dog, Paula. He's speaking up too. Um, you just be aware. Just take the time and ask the questions and do the research on the internet. And you know what? Every time you do that, every time you research or listen or talk to the correct people, you learn something. And by learning, you're developing yourself. You're growing as a human being. And I had a teacher once that gave me the best saying, and at the time I really didn't think about it. And this was, see, I'm still scratching my face because my hair's there. Um, she said this to me once, and I thought it was kind of odd saying, but I just took it in. And this was a good 30, 40 years ago. No, maybe not 30 years ago. And the saying was, when you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you're rot. Basically, if you're willing to admit that you're green and you don't know everything, you will grow as an individual because you're learning something new. If you're the type of individual who goes, that's, I already know all that. Well, I have some bad news for you, dude, or dudette. That means that you think you know everything, and you're ripe. You're thinking you're ripe, so you don't need to learn anything else. And if you stay in that frame of mind, your existence, your time on earth, could be so much better if you just opened yourself up and listened and got inquisitive about things. So I really, really hope that maybe my words have touched you, and you're tired of just listening and it's not making sense anymore. Stop being a sheep, and get yourself educated and hear your voice and speak your voice and use it. So one great thing of how to do it, and this is for the younger generation, you're coming up now. This will probably be the first year that you can actually vote. Never take that opportunity and throw it away, because there's people on this earth, other human beings, who do not have that right. They don't have the right to stand up and speak. And for women, the struggles that our ancestors, our ancestor sisters had gone through to allow us at this point in our history for females to go out and vote. And I never miss an election. Some people say one vote's not going to matter. It matters. Your voice matters. So for all those first-time young voters out there, you're super smart young men and young women, and you see the world in a whole new way than we do, because your reality is so different from the one that we grew up on. So I have high hopes for this young generation and the one coming up as well. So use your voice, go out and vote. I know it may be uncomfortable when this time comes. You could have warm weather, you could have cold weather, you could be sitting in the rain, but trust me, right now, your vote, your voice is so important. So please exercise that right and be proud. Be proud to go and vote. And remember all the other people who do not have this option. So that's about it for today. Again, I thank you for your time. I hope that if you were maybe a sheep, that maybe you're thinking about it, and maybe now you may be going, okay, she said something there that I kind of agree on. So that's my whole point of doing all these, is hoping that I reach one other human being with what I have to say. So as always, please, if you have the time, leave me a one-word description of what you thought of this video. The email is provided on my YouTube channel. If you want to send me more than one word, I welcome all feedback, good and bad. And if you've been following this, you know the question that I always ask: if it's a negative response in regards to maybe perhaps the way I look, or the way I dress, or the way I speak, because this is why my videos are so raw like this, because I don't want the filters on, and I want it to be raw, because being a human and being aware takes a lot of effort, and I know all of us can do this. I have no doubt that all of us can do this. So again, thank you so much for your time. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos. And I wish you only joy, happiness, and peace in your life, the same kind that I have found during my internal search. So thank you so much. Goodbye.